All right. Well, we're going to start off with what will probably be our last show, unless there's anything interesting we decide to hop on and talk sports betting about. But for the final
At,
and
at
last
least till
game,
September, hopefully. At least till next season. Yeah, because this is
exactly.
fun.
So
Hmm.
let's start off by I definitely want to spend some time to recap our bets from I guess it would be almost 2 weeks ago from now, the
Yes,
championship game weekend. And I did pretty good. I actually had
you
I think my
did.
first week that was better than, so I cashed on the Chiefs and the Eagles obviously. And what did I say? Did I not
Mhm.
say that they were going to win by double digits easily?
You did, and I even tried to take that bet with you, and you chickened out and didn't take
You weren't going to give me
it.
very good odds for it though.
Well, you were so sure, and it did hit, so it's a good thing I did what I did.
Mm. You definitely you did good though on hitting with Mac Hollins,
Yep,
the
that's
over
true.
11 and a half yards and a touchdown. That was really good. But you had Bills, commies, so you missed on those ones. And then
Yeah. Did
Allen,
you see
anytime
Allen's
touchdown.
too? That Allen had a touchdown and they ran it to the left two different times on a quarterback sneak and it got stopped twice. It was a heartbreaking day all around because of the results. But to see Allen do quarterback sneaks from the 1 yard line to win me the bet and not get in is just what makes gambling gambling. It's just
Yeah, that
unbelievable.
that was brutal. Then I had
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts um, under on the his rushing yard total, I believe it was, cashed on
You did
that.
really well. Yeah, you
Mhm.
did very well that day.
The only
Good
the only
job.
thing I missed though is I thought they would have to go through Travis Kelce more to win against the Bills. That wasn't the case at all. He was relatively held in check. So his anytime touchdown and
Surprising,
then the
right?
over.
I didn't
Hmm
see that coming at all. I did not see that one coming. But again, I
I,
didn't see a lot of things coming that day, so it is what it is.
mhm. Yeah, I thought for sure if they were going to win, they would have to go through Kelsey, but apparently not. They did just fine. So here we are with the Super Bowl rematch. So what is your
Yeah.
early outlook on it? What do you think?
So I'm all in on the Eagles. I think I'll give myself an out, even though obviously I was wrong. I was Buffalo versus. I had Washington. But remember, if you actually watched the show, I said this is an even game that can go any way, and the only reason I'm betting Washington is because I thought it can go anyway. And I also
Hmm
said the only reason why is because the Eagles were as beat up as they are. And if you watch the show 2 weeks ago, I also say if they survive this game, they get past Washington, they'll have 2 weeks to get healthy and they should be able to beat either the Eagles or the Bills. I'm sorry, the Chiefs or the Bills next week. And that's exactly what happened. They made it through the game relatively healthy. They're getting players back versus losing them 2 weeks to rest. I like the Eagles for sure this game. And it's just like the Buffalo game. I think we all can agree that the little mini calls that made the huge difference. The Bills had, I saw on the replays for all the people that are complaining about the refs cheating, it's 3 different times the Bills had a first down. Then you could clearly see it on the screen. And 3 different times it got pulled back about a yard. If Kincaid makes that catch on that amazing Josh Allen play, it's a different game, but he dropped the ball, so it is what it is. And it'll be just like every Chiefs game. Can the Eagles execute? Can the Eagles not make mistakes? Can they overcome the refs cheating that we all know is coming, basically? I believe they can. Your team is much more talented. You're much healthier now. You have a running attack like they haven't seen, even though the Chiefs are extremely good against the run. They haven't seen a running attack or an offensive line like yours. Your defensive line will not let them run. There's something clearly wrong with Pacheco. He does not look right. Hunt has been decent, and P. Ryan is what it is. And the only
hmm
real running back you have to worry about is Mahomes because if you touch him, you're going to lose 15 yards. So that's really their only running threat that should scare you. But I think you're going to like my bets this week, and I'm hoping obviously I hit. But I've got a lot of aggressive picks I want to share with you this week. So, do you want to go first or second? Because I was going along for a while there.
No, you got me excited to see what you come up with. I mean, I
Okay.
agree. The only thing I'll add is um, the only thing that scares me is, yeah, for their running attack, it's really only going to be Patrick Mahomes, and like you mentioned, and he did have that long run that gashed the Eagles, that kind of put them in the position where they get the holding call. But I agree with you. I think the biggest key for them to come out on top on this game is just to get so far ahead. like we talked in previous shows, is if you got to be up by 2 possessions, you have to going into the last 5 minutes of the fourth
It has to
quarter.
be undeniable. It cannot be close. If you go into that game in a one score game going into the fourth quarter, God help you. It has to be
Hmm.
undeniable because you know that you're going to get screwed just like Buffalo did. It's going to be subtle. It won't be obvious. And again, to be fair, okay, it was fourth and half an inch. Buffalo should have made it undeniable and gotten there. They did. The replay showed they got there, and then they decided to go to commercial and just give the ball to the Chiefs after the commercial break, which was just lovely. But if you're going to beat them, you need to do a quarterback sneak and gain 2 yards. It has to be undeniable. The Bills didn't make it undeniable, and that's why they
Hmm.
lost. You have to put your foot on that throat and just step over and over again on that throat. The only way. I hope you do. I so hope you do.
I do too. But yeah, so you got me excited. Let's see what's
Okay,
so aggressive about
so
your bets. What'd you go?
I think your stars need to win this game, and I think that's an obvious statement. But again, a lot of times in betting, obvious is what wins. I love Barkley scoring the first TD of the game. I got him plus 400 doing that, and with the MGM app, I get a second chance. So if he scores the second one, at least I get my money back. I love Barkley as the MVP of this game. I think the only way you win this Super Bowl is if Barkley's the MVP. I love the Eagles money line. I'm getting plus 110, but my package ones, I have a few of them. I've got Eagles money line. I've got Hurt scoring a touchdown because the way I see it, I went back and looked in almost every game that you guys win, Hurts runs a touchdown almost every single time. Barkley obviously getting a touchdown, and I think AJ Brown needs to have a big game, so I got him scoring a touchdown. So I think you guys are going to score in the 30s. I think that all three of those players score, and if I hit that one, then I get plus 1,050. So I love that bet. Another one I've got is Barkley touchdown, Barkley over 100 yards, Hurts scoring a touchdown, and Hurts over 50 rushing yards. I think he'll certainly do that. Your second running back is very good. So I got plus 750 if I get that one. And then the last one is for some reason the package was set up. This is one of those special teasers, so I got to give MGM credit. I didn't come up with this, but I like the bet. I've got Eagles plus 1.5. If I was to rebet it or organize it and had more time, I would have just bet it money line and hopefully got better
Hmm.
odds. Brown over 50 yards, Brown touchdown. And then I got Devontae Smith over 50 yards and Smith with a touchdown. If he scores in this game, it's most likely going to be a long touchdown. It's going to be a bomb, and that would get him over 50 yards. But I get plus 1650 if that one hits. So I really like that one. I think the odds of Devontae catching a long touchdown, I mean, the odds are against it, but you giving me 16 to 1, that's worth a shot. I already got the Eagles winning. I already got Brown scoring a touchdown. So why not add that basically and get 1650? So those are my Super Bowl picks. Let's
I
hear
like it.
yours. Cool.
So mine is actually similar. I have Devontae Smith over 51 and a half yards. I agree
Okay.
with everything that you're saying. Is the stars have to come out, and plus Devontae Smith averages 99 over 99 yards, a touchdown, and I think 6 catches against the Chiefs. He has one of the
That's good to
highest
hear.
average receiving total against the Chiefs out of like any receiver ever.
And he really
Uh,
should. They've only got one good corner, so he should have a huge game against the Chiefs. The second receiver on these teams should all, and that's why I picked Mac Hollins on the last game to score a touchdown. The second receiver against the Chiefs should always do very well. So sorry to
I
jump in.
agree.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
And I heard some theories. It's like, okay, what do they do? Do they take Trent McDuffie? Do they man him one on one with AJ Brown, and then roll the coverage over and try and make it cloudy for Devontae Smith and Goddard, or do they do Trent McDuffie on Devontae Smith and then just try and shift everything over for AJ Brown? But I agree with you. I think they're going to have their best corner on one of the two, and then the other two, or the other one out of the two, are going to have to step up. So I have Devontae Smith on that. I have the same thing, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. It's
Mhm.
almost guaranteed that in a big game, and they're just going to be, on the 1 yard line. It just seems to never fail. He had two of the tush push touchdowns in the last Super Bowl. I think his other one, he actually like ran it in from a little over 5 yards. So I have that. I have Eagles money line. I'm actually surprised. I thought more money was going to come on the Chiefs to move the line, But the
It
only
did.
line movement I've seen is on the app I bet on for William Hill. The Eagles are now +1 instead of 1.5.
I just checked
But
MGM right before we started. They're still 1.5
they're
right
still
now.
at 1.5. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I thought you would see more action come in, but I think maybe just people are just pretty split on it. I think a lot of the money and the bets went on Chiefs in the beginning, and I think bets on Philly kind of caught up. So I had the Eagles money line. I have Patrick Mahomes under 29.5 rushing yards.
Ooh,
I think
I'll take that bet privately with you after. I think he's going to be running for his life the whole game, and he's going to run a lot. And you're going to see that bootleg play where they run a 2 yard out with either Kelsey or Worthy, and he decides to tuck tail and run it. I'd say a few different times, like he did against the Bills. I think you're going to see that play
here's
a lot.
I'll take that bet with you, and here's my reasoning:
Okay.
is
Yeah,
our defense is incredibly fast. We've
it is.
had no problem with other quarterbacks that have kind of tried to do that, get out on the edge or Russian quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels was his running was non-factor with us. Lamar Jackson was a
Mm.
non-factor until a garbage time where they held the shit out of us, but we were up, 12, and then he just runs down the field and nobody's tackling him, and they're just holding all our guys, and it's a garbage time run. But other than that, we kept them in check. We have too much speed. We have there's a stat that came up is the Eagles defense on artificial turf is only giving up
Mhm.
11 points a game, and it's the perfect playing field, especially since we have
That is
uh
true. Yeah,
yeah,
and especially because you're faster than they are. That's
yeah.
100% correct.
I will give you that. They are going to put him in situations where he is going to be able to run. I'm just hoping that we have the speed to be able to close on him because
I'll bet
Patrick
you he
Mahomes is
has
not.
I'll bet you he has at least 8 attempts. And if you can hold him to under 29 yards after 8 attempts, then you've done something amazing. I mean, a couple of those attempts will be quarterback sneaks, so there'll be some BS attempts. But when that guy runs, he usually gets 10 to 15 yards when he does it. And if you can keep him under 29, that would be incredibly. If you keep him under 29, I think you guarantee you win.
Mhm. I have that, and then my last one is I saw a big bet come in that's basically saying no to an octopus. Are you familiar with what that is?
No, I have no idea.
So an octopus, I guess, is when a player catches a touchdown or rushes for a touchdown, and then they right after they get the 2 point conversion. So the player that gets the
Oh, that's
touchdown
cool.
also. Yeah, so there was a big bet. I think some put like $80,000
Ooh,
that there wasn't going to be one because the odds on an octopus are extremely high. So I
you got
have
to put that
yes
on
on an
Brown, right?
octopus. Yeah.
Oh, just anybody can get it?
No, so it has to be the same player that scores the touchdown has to
No, I mean,
also
but
get
if
the two
it,
point.
but anybody can do it. Like, let's say that Brown scores a touchdown and gets a 2 point conversion, or let's say Hurt scores a touchdown and gets the 2 point conversion. It doesn't matter which player, just as long as one of them does it.
Hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. I was going to say, if I was going to bet anybody on that bet, I'd bet Brown. That would be the one that makes sense because that would
Hmm.
be a jump ball situation, maybe that he can get a 2 point conversion on.
Yep.
That's interesting.
I
That's a fun bet.
Yeah, I just thought I was looking at it and I was like, with this I never really heard much about that bet, but then I saw someone put so much money to not get anything that I'm just like, those kind of things just seem to
What
happen
are the
weirdly the
odds?
other way.
What kind of odds are you
Oh,
getting on that?
let me pull it up. I didn't write it down. I think it's like I think it was like plus 3,400.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm going to put $5 on that if that's a fun one.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up too, I'll talk for a little bit. There's one
Mm,
thing that concerns me about the game that might be worth putting money on is the Chiefs special teams is playing extremely well right now. They've got
mm-hmm,
that punt returner that just looks lightning fast. It's not exactly Dante Hall quite yet, but it's budding. If you wanted to put a fun bet that's against what we want is on the Chiefs, is I could see a defensive slash special teams touchdown for Kansas City because if that guy breaks one and those things pay really well, and again, I don't want to jinx anything, but that guy's got two different plays in both playoff games. He had one in Houston where he brought it all the way back to the 25, and he had one against Buffalo where he brought it all the way back to like the 30. And if he had one more play, he would have scored in both of them. And for whatever reason, it seems like the defense or special teams seems to score a lot in the Super Bowl. It seems to happen like one every 2 or 3 Super Bowls. And if I'm going to pick between the Eagles special teams and the Kansas City special teams, they got a leg up on that one, especially since your kicker sucks right now. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be an interesting bet if you want to. Obviously, we don't want to jinx anything and bet anything on the Chiefs. But if I was going to put any fun bets on the Chiefs, it would be a Chiefs
That's
defensive or special team score.
I don't I don't hate that one. You're right. They have an electric returner, and we've struggled on kick coverage
Yeah.
a couple of times this year. Special teams hasn't been on it, but I like that. I want to see what the odds are on that one. The octopus,
I
sorry, it
could, while
was
you're doing
plus
the
14.
octopus one here,
Yeah, so the
plus
octopus
14.
is
Yeah, see,
plus
that's a great
14.
bet.
Yeah, and then the
And that's
no,
totally
it's
possible if
like
you get every single player. I mean, my goodness.
yeah. Well, they have
That's pretty
a
cool.
safety scored in the game as plus 1,000. So what they're saying is that a safety is more likely than an octopus, which
I
I can just
disagree with
see.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
disagree too.
I don't see that happening at all. Let me
Do
see.
you
Okay, I'm
do?
looking at the Chiefs. Okay, Chiefs. Wow, this is. I would. All right, I'll give you first. Take a guess what you think that the Kansas City defense special teams touchdown gets anytime score.
Uh, plus 800.
You're not far off, actually. I thought it'd be worth plus 650. So they're thinking
That's
that they've got more odds on Kenneth Gainwell scoring a touchdown is plus 1,200. They think there's a much better chance that Kansas City's defense
wow.
scores than Kenneth Gainwell, like by double. That's unbelievable. Kenneth Gainwell at 1,200. That might be worth a $5 bet just for fun.
What is Jahan Dotson? I that's another weird one where
Dot,
I can see an
um,
anytime touchdown with
no,
Jahan
plus
Dotson.
1,300. Plus
Yeah, he is
1,300 for you.
he's he's not really one they target. Oh, so I have an interesting theory for you. I
Okay.
haven't been able to find it. I think what they have is like any non-quarterback to throw a touchdown. But
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering what the odds would be on
Philly special.
just just hear me out on this. Uh, uh,
Yep.
a toss to Saquon.
That's it. Philly
There's no
special.
way everyone's going to go right to him and then give Saquon a pass.
Yeah, that hurts. Recreate the Philly special
No,
again.
no, no, not. I would rather it not be theirs, but no, I'm just thinking like do a play where you get it out to Saquon. They're going to buy it hard as shit. Saquon's like never thrown a
Uh,
pass before, and you have AJ Brown or you could do some variation of it, but just to be aggressive
I,
on a trick
if
play.
you
What do you
guys
think?
did the Philly special on the 6 yard line and scored it, the internet would erupt. Like it'd be like they did it again. Oh my god! And that would pay off well for me because I'd get my anytime touchdown. So it doesn't matter how he gets in there; he just gets in there.
Hmm.
I'm good with that. That would be. I mean, it would be a smart play. But here's the thing, though, is that um, you know saw a fake play in the what's it called Detroit game. Detroit was down 8 against was it
Oh
Washington,
yeah,
and they
that kind
decided
of
that they were going
unraveled.
to run a fake reverse, and it pretty much cost them the game. So, like like I mean, obviously the famous New Orleans onside kick, your famous Philly special, it can work, but it can also be like, could you imagine that you're on the 6 yard line and it's 2nd and 6 and it's a close game and you run the Philly special and he bobbles the throw or he throws an interception and you lose the game by 4 because you decided to run a trick play, like the balls it takes to run a trick play. The 49ers did it last time. They did that whole thing where they did the reverse and Jennings threw it across to McCaffrey. That's how they
Hmm.
first scored their first touchdown. But I
Yeah.
was there. I remember I almost swallowed my tongue because it looked like the Chiefs were going to pick it off and run it back for a 6. And somehow I got by him and it got to McCaffrey and they scored. But I mean, that worked. And I remember just almost throwing up the second I saw the pass going across the field, going, "Oh my God!" If the Chiefs would have caught that one, we wouldn't have to worry about the crying of the refs in the overtime. It would have been just over right there. So I mean, I hope it works if it does. But God, could you imagine you lost a Super Bowl because you ran that play? Like, I
Yeah,
guess no
but
guts, no glory.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think I'd rather him stay away from it, but just An interesting thought to be like, what do you think would be the odds for a Saquon pass touchdown?
I don't
Like
even
for
know
him
the
to
floor.
pass and throw, what do you think like
I
the
think
odds
you'd
would
have
be?
to go into the casino and like make that. Like, is there a throwing touchdown column? I don't think I've even seen
I
that
think
before.
it's
Let me see.
I think they have one just saying
Quarterback props.
any non-quarterback like will throw a touchdown pass. So any team throughout the whole thing, because I think the odds for
Not
that
on
are so
mine.
high.
I'm looking at right now. I've got quarterback props, passing touchdown, and the only two people listed are Mahomes and Hurts. There's nobody else even listed. Maybe unless there's like an alternative here. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to bet that. There's got to be. There's always a way to bet it. It's just on the apps. I'm not sure if there's a way to bet it. Like I think that might be one where you have to come into the casino and they got those books, those sheets that are like 20 pages of legal pages. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. You just would have to find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go uh pick one of those up. Because I think one has like 1,500 prop bets. I just want to go through and just read some of them and just
Oh
but I'm
yeah,
planning
I'll
on
give you a couple of other fun ones that you might want to think about doing.
mm,
AJ Brown, Super Bowl MVP AJ Brown is plus
ooh.
3,500. I mean, I could
Oh
see a way where
wow.
AJ Brown catches two long touchdown passes, has 150 yards, and is the MVP. I don't think that's impossible by any means.
Hmm.
Devonte Smith plus 6,600.
Oh,
Again, probably not, but I mean, if you catch two long touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, both going for like let's say 50 some odd yards, I think we both know Devonte Smith is more than capable of doing that. He's the
yeah.
MVP most likely if he does that.
Well, I
I
think
mean, there's some fun ones here.
because everybody's opinion is going to be if the Eagles win, it has to be with Saquon Barkley, maybe Hurts,
Right?
but it's pretty much like because I really like that Barkley, Super Bowl MVP because I think it's at what like plus 200.
Yeah, plus 240.
Um,
Yeah, plus 240. So
yeah,
again,
I
if
really
the
like
Eagles
that.
win the Super Bowl, it's going to be Barkley. But I mean, you never know. What if those long touchdown passes? Like if the 49ers would have won the Super Bowl last year, there's a really good chance Joanne Jennings is the Super Bowl MVP. And
Yeah,
good Lord, what that would have paid. My God.
yeah.
There's a good. So it can happen.
What do you think about coin toss? You ever do coin toss?
I like heads.
I'm tails. Tails never fails. But
Oh,
I,
there
I
we go. We
actually,
got a second bet then. There you
yeah,
go.
I actually cashed last year though. I put some bets. I almost got the exacta score right. I had it
Oh,
for
wow.
I had it, but I had the teams flipped.
Oh, no
It was
kidding.
gonna pay. It was gonna
Oh,
pay out like
gosh.
$20,000, but it had to been. I know I was freaking out, and I was like, "Dude, I got the number."
Kansas City
But
breaks streams. That's what they do. That's what they
yeah,
do. That
so
is
I was looking
awesome.
at some of those, like I see the exact score. It's pretty much plus 50,000 on all of them except for the basic ones. Those are interesting. Um, yeah, and then they have like
Oh,
their promotions and all that.
that's cool. So, question for you: If the Eagles, I'm sorry, not when the Eagles win the Super Bowl on this one, are we going out celebrating out after? Or are you just doing something staying at home?
I don't. I'm not sure. So I'm going to watch it. My dad's and his neighbors has like a big Super Bowl thing, which is kind of not really the most ideal. I agreed to go to it before it was like the Eagles for sure in the Super Bowl, but it's kind of like that thing you sent where Bill Burr's talking about like it's like a nightmare because nobody's
I don't
really
know how you
actually
do that.
interested and at those parties of
Mm-mm.
really wanting to watch the game. So I think I'm going to tuck myself away. I don't know. I probably will be in a state where I'm win or lose, I might be crawling out of the house afterwards. I
Well,
don't
I'll
know if
tell
I'll
you
make
what.
it.
I took an entire igloo, like a good size one, and I had filled it up with ice, and I had two bottles of champagne that was just sitting in my car after the Super Bowl ready. And I know there's no doubt in my mind if I won, I was going to be out all night, all day, all night after that thing. And then, of course, when what happened happened, I just literally just had the longest walk to my car back in my entire life. But if you win that thing, you're going to have a lightning bolt go through you. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You won't be
Yeah,
crawling anymore. You'll be wide awake. You'll be wide
yeah.
awake.
Damn. Well,
Mm,
did I just it's tough because it's like This is worse than when you have like I know when you're like the number one seed and you're like kind of like waiting for the playoffs to start and you have to wait 2 weeks.
It's
Um,
so much
but
worse. It's
yeah,
so
this is just horrendous because it's just the time leading up and you're trying to, like you said, you're looking at every article and you're listening to everything, waiting to see what new news is happening. But it's like 2 weeks and there's only like so much that people could really cover about the game and what's going on.
Mhm.
So
Are
it's
you
just
reading the
kind of a
injury report every
nightmare.
day?
Yeah,
I
like
had a
Jalen
link to
Carter.
five different injury. I had a link to five different injury reports, so I'd hear tons of. I had the Chiefs injury report news, the 49ers, so I'd hear both perspectives, and I was just like, I knew exactly what minute that they announced the updated injury reports every single day. Like I was that watching it, where I'm just like, oh, it's 3 o'clock. It's time to look at the injury report.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm listening to everything I possibly can about it. But yeah, I
yeah,
think I'll definitely share. I'm going to check out one of those sheets. I think when I get a chance, one of the casinos with the ridiculous, and just see if there's anything that really catches my eye. That's not on the apps I use, but it's going to be
yeah, that'd be
exciting.
fun.
I have some good feelings about both of our bets, and you know we'll see. I mean, either I'm going to be extremely happy and
Yep,
or
it's
I'm
only
going to
one way
be
this ends.
devastated.
I promise I will not be teasing you at all that day. I will only be cheering and positive for it. I will not do any snarky comments or call him the second running back or any of that shit. That's your day, and I'm not going to fuck with it at all. So this is all yours. And for one day and one day only, I will be the biggest Eagle fan you ever saw. Because I will just,
Awesome. Well,
I will be crushed. And I already know the repercussions. I was telling Beta this the other day. I'm just like, if you do win, I already know what happens after. Is that anytime we get an argument about the 49ers and the Eagles, you can be like, yeah, we're the team that beat them. You couldn't do it, right? So I already know what the repercussions of this are, is that I lose every single argument from here on out if you win. But it'd be worth it
it'll
so
be
the
worth
Chiefs
it.
don't win. Yeah, totally worth it.
Awesome.
So,
All right,
cool.
man. Well, we'll see how
Yeah,
these
good
bets
luck.
turn out in the Super Bowl. Do you have anything else you want to go through or go over before we end our last show?
Yeah, I'll just end it with something I never thought I'd say: is go birds.
Go Birds.
Go birds.